let's talk about some presentation skills first. We have here, let's go. Hey, that's not. First of all, part of presentation skills is to really know that you are confident in portraying yourself as a successful agent. I can't say enough about how important it is that when somebody's going to work with you, you have to give them the idea, not I'm a new agent and I'm going to struggle, but I hope you'll be patient with me. Nobody wants that. Nobody. A buyer that knows you personally, great. But even sellers, they're not comfortable giving a listing to somebody that doesn't exude confidence. So it's really important. I need you to understand that regardless of what the situation is, you have to really come off like you know what you're talking about. So that's number one, really important. And part of the dialogue that you're going to have with your client, your potential client, is you are going to receive exemplary service. In my networking meeting this morning, we had our banker spoke when it was his turn to get up and speak. And he said, the services that my bank offers, you can get anywhere. The service that I'm going to give you, you're not going to get anywhere. So he basically just said, every bank is going to open an account for you, whatever, but he's reiterating to the public that I'm going to treat you differently than any other bank. So the service, the level of service that you're going to receive is going to be above average coming from me. You got to portray that. You're going to have closings without surprises. Can we promise closings without surprises? I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that you close without surprises. That's all I can promise. What I can promise you is, me personally, I'm not going to drop the ball. I'm going to do everything I can. And that's part of convincing people, whether it's a buyer or a seller, that I'm going to do everything on my end. I'm here for you. I actually want to achieve your goal. My goal is your goal. That's really important. Everybody remembers my story. That agent, I wouldn't have had a real estate license today. If that agent, thank God she didn't, but if that agent had found for me the kind of house I was looking for, I would not be a real estate agent. I would just be a contractor still, not ever getting into real estate if she had listened to me, because I wanted a house with a separate entrance, separate office, everything separate, separate bathrooms, lock the door, families here, businesses here. I wouldn't have a real estate license. The fact is, she didn't listen to me. She had a particular goal in mind. She didn't care. So the fact that I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to do, and I'm going to be your eyes and ears. Something that I try and instill in a lot of people. When your client's coming up from somewhere far and they are not as available, someone like yourselves, you're both full-time agents, I preview the house. Don't waste your time coming up here from the Bronx. I'm out. Let me go look at it for you. Let me go tell you if this is worth driving up, because a lot of times these things are deceptive, really important as well. That is part of your presentation. It's like, here's all the stuff. I'm going to give you this long list of all the things that I'm doing for you so that you don't have to waste the trip. I can do it on Zoom. I can do it on FaceTime, on WhatsApp, and just have it on there and say, I'm looking at this house. Take a look at that stove. Look how beautiful that. Look at that. Oh, look at the damage up there. Don't waste your time coming here. I'm glad you didn't waste your time. That's what we're doing. Otherwise, what are we doing? We're sitting in the office waiting for the phone to ring. Might as well do something productive for people as well. And you can record some of that stuff and use it as good material online. I'm always going to work in your best interest. I'm not a double agent. I'm always going to be working for you and making sure that my goals are your goals. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that your move is successful. So first, we have to have some sort of core values and these presentation skills. I usually print this up. I actually have these core values made like a certificate. When I'm taking a listing, if I don't know who they are and they never met me, I print my core values and I put them on a certificate and say, here's what I stand for. I'm always living by the get by giving philosophy. The more I give, the more I get. That's my philosophy. My client's goals, that'll be you, client, buyer, seller, Your number one goal is my number one goal. If your goal is to get this house sold in 30 days, then that's my goal. If your goal is to be in this house, so when school starts in September, that's my goal. Whatever it is your goal, is going to be my goal. Obviously, it's got to be within reason. I want to live up to my standards, even though there's always going to be a temptation to lower them. I want to live up to my standards. That's why I'm doing a class with 3 people here, when 94 people know that I'm doing a agent orientation. I'm doing it anyway, because my standards are, I'm giving a class. Unless nobody shows up, I just told Ginger, I said, if nobody's here, just me and you, I'm going to do a class. I'm promising, I'm under promising, and I want to over deliver. I'm going to give you over and above. And I think that's the best way to do it. If you promise this and you deliver this, you fall short. You promise this and you deliver this, you're a hero, right? So that's really what you have to do. Don't overpromise when you're taking a client out. Make sure that you promise only things that you absolutely know that you can accomplish. Then everything on top of that looks great. You look like oh my God, you go over and above. You know who's like that? One of our top dogs here, Mariana. She's always doesn't promise nothing. And then she just goes out of her way to just completely do over and above. And she's doing these little mini reports for them and follow-ups. And then she does take somebody out and looks at 3 houses and she sends them a recap at the end of the day in an email. She's extremely organized person. Sends them a recap of here's what we looked at today. Here's some of the features in the houses that you did like. Here's the things you didn't like, and sends it. And they're like, oh my God, look at this information that she sent me. It's so far over and above, and no one's expecting it. That's the beautiful thing about it. So that's the under promise, over deliver. Do what you said you're going to do. Sometimes you could do more, just don't do less than you promise. Really important. People know that when you promise something, you got to deliver, right? There's always going to be the exception. There's always going to be the, Joe went away on vacation, went away somewhere, and we're not having a meeting that day. But for the most part, I think I live up to my expectation here. I'm available all the time. And I make that clear that you guys are my client. Yes, legally, all your clients are my clients, but you guys are my clients. I make sure that you guys are well taken care of as much as you need me to be. Okay, so in your presentation, at some point, you need to write up some sort of a little mini bio about you. Something about you, like whether Fred writes you up a bio, get your picture in there, that you're a member. I mean, they don't even know what that means. New York State real estate broker, right? So you're a New York State real estate salesperson. I belong, don't you know if you know that, I belong to the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. I belong to the National Association of Realtors. I belong to New York State Association of Realtors. Everything that you could possibly do should have credentialed on there. Even your background, whatever your background is, if you have some sort of background in any other expertise, you have to put that on there. It should be on there, okay? You make your own. You're going to make your own bio page that you should have ready to go. I'm going to negotiate for you. I am going to be the best negotiator for you. I went and got my real estate license. I am a professional negotiator. I'm going to work on your behalf to get you the best possible price. I'm the third party. You know what that means? I'm the third party. That means it's not you and the seller. It's you, whether you're the buyer or the seller, and me in your corner. And I always like to bring this, like, could you possibly imagine going to court and don't want to pay the bucks for an attorney to represent you? And you go, you know what? I don't want to spend $1,000 on an attorney. I'm going to go by myself. You'd have to be nuts. Yeah. Right? You got to be crazy. Who would do that? And yet people do that. You know what? I'm going to do the surgery myself. I'm not going to waste the money on a doctor. I'm just going to extract that big old lesion myself. Not going to pay anybody. So you have the third party. That's my job, is to be this third party working on your behalf, helping you, like having a lawyer. As a matter of fact, you need to be able to explain people that I'm a fiduciary just like a lawyer. I have the same legal responsibilities to work in your best interest at all times, just like a lawyer. You wouldn't go to a divorce. You wouldn't go to court if somebody's suing you. You would never think of doing it without a lawyer. Well, you really shouldn't go into this without having someone in your corner. Really important. It helps the communication. That's my job, right? I am the messenger. I'm the insulter. You don't have to worry about some ridiculously low offer that you want to put in. That's my job. So when I present an offer, regardless of what it is, or when I'm receiving an offer from you, I'm the middleman, right? I'm the guy that's taking the grunt. So if somebody's buying a $1 million building and you want to offer 800,000, what? Oh, I'm the messenger. That's what my client asked me to do. So you don't have to be feeling reluctant. I mean, obviously now we're not in that kind of market, but when we are, and this is not going to last. What we're in right now, it's not going to stay like this. It's going to go back to normal, where you get a house and it sits on the market for 2-3 months, and you have to go and actually find a buyer. And that $500,000 house, somebody's going to come in there and they're going to go, I'll give you a 470 for it. And they're going to go, I don't need a 470. That's crazy. Okay, then I'm not buying it. All right, well, let's talk, right? It's going to come back to that. And there's some houses that are still doing that because, not every house is immediately sellable. And also having somebody in your corner avoids all kind of problems. So there are different things that we're going to represent. You're going to represent a buyer and you're going to represent a seller. So for this portion, I just want to talk about buyers right now, and we'll get to sellers in a few minutes. But right now, 75% of your business really should come from listings. When you get a listing, you get buyers. They just come. Why are they doing an open house if you're going to have it sold? Because buyers are going to walk in the door. We're not going to have agents. And those buyers, whether they come in and they get both sides of the deal, great. If not, those buyers are going to take them and show them something else. And you work with those buyers, whether they're pre-approved, ready to go, not ready yet. That's where you get a lot of your buyers from, is open houses. Very important that we do that. So listings really should be your main focus, and work the listings. Now, you can only do one open house. If you're lucky, you could do one open house. Look at my house in Mamaroneck. One open house only. It was already sold before the open house. I already had it. It was already done. Where normally open houses, those were like every week.
Yeah.
We do an open house. Like, we were almost at a point saying, I wish a house didn't sell. One of the good ones didn't sell. So we'd have an opportunity to like work this thing. Like, somebody called up Vicky yesterday and wanted her to like run an ad. So she said, oh, this looks really good. And it's only $300. Should I do the ad? I said, what do you want to spend $300 for? It's going to be sold by Friday. Why would you wait? I said, if we can't get it sold by the next week, then you could go ahead and put an ad in. What's the point? You're not going to need it, right? So keep in mind, the listings generate a reputation for you. It gives you something to advertise. It shows instant recognition. That's why I'm telling people, when you get a new listing, take somebody's listing and share it and put it on your pages so that people go, oh my God, look at Julia listing in Cortland Manor. She's doing stuff.
And people share.
And people share that too, but they see you as doing business instead of someone who's brand new. They go, oh, brand new agent, look at that. 2 listings, one in accepted, or under contract, etc. That's something that adds to your credibility, right? It does, because people go there, they want to see that you did something, right? Buyers are checking you out on that same thing. So they want to know what kind of agent you are. If you saw the lunch and learn yesterday, day before yesterday, when the guy was on Facebook talking about Facebook posts and everything, that's all he was talking about. He's talking about this static ad that's always there because people do check you out. Anytime you want to know what anybody, just first thing you do is you go on Facebook and find them on Facebook, find them on Instagram, see who it is that we're talking about, right? So you got to have that. And don't think people aren't doing that, because everybody's doing that. It's important that you know the market. There's not that many homes on the market. But if you are going to take a Mamaroneck listing and you are going to post that, you really should look at what's going on in Mamaroneck. You should look at right now, Tarrytown. You should know everything that's for sale in Tarrytown. Our office is representing Westchester, but we're located in Tarrytown. Somebody asks you, hey, what's going on in Tarrytown? And you don't know the names of the restaurants and you don't know the streets and you don't know what's for sale in Tarrytown. That doesn't look good. It's important that you know a lot of this information. So get to know your neighborhood. You're in Dobbs Ferry. You should know everything about Dobbs Ferry. Every single house comes on the market in Dobbs Ferry. You should know. You should know what's there. And a new house comes on the market. That's not advertising that listing. If your house two doors down from you, I wish that they listed with you, but let's just say somebody on your street lists their house for sale. You're going to take that information and say, just a new house just came on the market in Dobbs Ferry. Ask me for information. That's a great way to get people out. Oh my God, could live in Dobbs? Tell me about the house, right? It's kind of like a teaser. It gets people to call you. You taking notes, right? You take a lot of good notes. Maybe you want to share notes when you're done because you're writing like crazy.
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
I try to write and then it goes to my mind.
Yeah, and then I'll send you the recording later too, so
Okay.
this way you can
If you
follow
need to-
along with it. But it's really important. My next door neighbor, he's retired now, but my next door neighbor was one of my agents years ago. And we live in the village of Suffolk. Every single house that ever came on the market, sold, under contract, expired. He knew everything about every house. And so he didn't want to go all over the Rockland County or even forget about crossing the bridge or even going to Orange. He was strictly a Suffern agent. And if you needed to know anything about any house, somebody walked in there and go, oh, I think I want to get my house sold, what a house is going for. And he would just be like, oh, on Chestnut Street, that one just sold recently. And, and that one had needed a roof. And this one here on Nottingham sold for 800,000. And that one was really old. I mean, everything was right. And he knew every house. He knew the neighborhood. He could tell you that our schools were number 8 in the state, in the country. Our school system is number 8 in the United States. In Ramapo, our school system. So he just knew everything about it. He could tell you like where restaurants were, where the places to eat are, what the supermarket, oh, that supermarket should go over here. And here's where liquor store, smoke shop, 7-Eleven. He knew like everything. And people felt like this guy, not only did he know his stuff, but he cared. Makes a big difference. Okay. All right. So again, you need to know all that information I just talked about, right? Stats, visuals. I have another PowerPoint that I'm going to share with you. I made a PowerPoint that I would show people. It was called Selling Rockland County. It wasn't about selling homes. It was about knowing all the information about Rockland County. And in PowerPoint, I'll do it another day when we do another one of these things. It was about knowing all the celebrities in each town, right? So if somebody's looking in let's say Dobbs Ferry, you go, oh, you know who's from Dobbs Ferry? So-and-so, the actor, was from Dobbs Ferry. And this guy from the guy who started, Ford Motor Company was born in Dobbs Ferry, stuff like that. People think that's so cool, by the way, that you're that knowledgeable. You always need to make there some sort of decision of urgency, right? In sales, we call that fear of loss. Fear of loss is the greatest motivator, right? You've ever heard that commercial and say, call right now and you get free shipping. Time's ticking. You got 2 minutes left. What's happening? They're like, oh my God, free shipping. That's got to be $20. I'm going to get on the phone right now. I'm going to buy it anyway. Let me do it right now. Otherwise, they know that as soon as that commercial passes, you're going to forget about it. You're not going to make a purchase, right? So fear of loss creates some sort of urgency. Everybody I'm talking about, when I talk to people about getting their homes, I go, don't wait too long. My thing is, I don't have a crystal ball. I lived through another recession. If you're going to do something, you need to do it now. Don't wait. Buyers, you need to buy something. Don't wait. Sellers, if you think it's ever going to get this good ever again, it might, but not for a while. It was really good in 2005, 6, 7, 8. Until October of 2008. Then it was not good. And every deal fell apart. And those people bought homes for $500,000 and they were now worth $300,000. I remember a time, if you called me up and said, I've got a $400,000 budget I need a house in Rockland County. I used to say, nope. How do you feel about going to Orange County? Another 25, 30 minutes north. How do you feel about that? Oh, I don't know if I want to go. Oh, 400,000. I can't get you a house for 400,000. Did not exist, not even falling apart. That's how crazy the market was. You can still you can get them now again. Right after that market crash, those $400,000, $500,000 homes became $250,000, $300,000 homes. Just like that. Right. So the fact is, you have to generate some sort of urgency in people. You have to, because if they don't think there's an urgency, like interest rates, they're, where are they going right now? Down or up? Up. They're going up, right? So you got a buyer, like, you're waiting? What, are you kidding me? You could still get in right now at 6.5. How long are you going to wait? You think it's going to go back to 2? If you're waiting for it to go back to 2, that means the entire economy has to completely collapse again, like it did in 2008, for it to go back to 2, or it has to completely collapse like it did during COVID for it to go back to 2. Is that going to happen again? It might, but you want to take that chance. So this is some of the dialogue that you have to have. Like, you can't really force somebody to make a purchase. I don't want to force anybody. I don't ever want that on my conscience, that I force somebody to buy a house. I don't want anybody losing their house and go, oh man, the pressure this guy put on me was awful. But people do need some sort of guidance. They need guidance. They're looking to you for guidance. If they didn't need your guidance, they would just call the people from the lawn sign. But they know they need help. So that's part of it. Get that in there. I am here to take the worries out. And was your broker there to help you stay calm the whole time?
You put my feet on the floor.
Yeah. And get your head clear on it, and okay. And if they don't fix it, don't buy it. I'm not going to let you buy something that's going to be bad, right? I made you feel calm and comfortable. I've been doing this a long time, and I know that. So that's the idea when you tell people when they're going out, even the home inspector, oh my God, look at that. Don't worry about it. We're going to negotiate this out. And if we can't get it negotiated out, then I don't want you to buy the house if we can't get the stuff resolved, right? It's too important to be done. So the fact is that's where we come into play, that we're going to help you manage the emotions. Because when you're a third party, the emotion comes out of it. I'm the rational thinker, or you as the agent are the rational thinker, where the buyer is strictly, this is super emotional, besides financial. Oh my God, you know what I mean? It's emotional and financial. But the third party realtor, this is the part that you really need to explain to people as well, is that, I'm here because I'm neutral on this. I'm going to make sure that everything goes smoothly, because sometimes you're thinking with your emotions and not really with your head. And some people are super analytical, those people, great, they overthink. And so at some point they do need a little guidance. Those analyticals that like every little thing, like, oh, what about this? What about that? Millions of things. And you have to also be the voice of reason, because they need somebody to push them. There's some people that I was always a very spontaneous person. I bought houses, cars, forget it. I must have owned at least 70 cars. I just added another one to my repertoire. So, I bought a lot of cars in my lifetime. And yet I know people that they want to buy a new car. And it's like 2 years later, I'm like, did you buy a car yet? Oh no, I went to another dealer last week. And then 2 weeks ago, I went to another dealer and I test drive this, but they can't make a decision, right? Those people need some sort of a gentle push. There should be for some of those people, there should be an agent that helps you buy a car.
I'm laughing because I have a friend that is just like that.
Yeah.
He was saying that he was going to buy a car for almost 3 years. And I said, you know what? Next Sunday, I'll come for you. And we're going to go to the dealer.
Right.
And we went to the dealer and he got so anxious. And he told me, you know what? You choose the car, choose the color. Just let me know when I have to come and sign.
And you picked this car?
Yeah.
Excellent. See that? I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about, because that's it. There are folks out there, they just can't make a decision. They just can't. And they look for every excuse not to pull the trigger. And so they need somebody to gently guide them in. When you want to get somebody motivated or at least to see their level of commitment. You want to meet them somewhere. Not just talk them on the phone, but you want to see their level of commitment. Like, will they meet you in a Starbucks or in a Panera? Or will they come to the office to meet you and sign agency, fair housing, and all those things, and discuss some of those listings that we're going to look at? I'm not talking about the guy that calls you up from Zillow or from the website and says, hey, Christian, yeah, I just got your name on Zillow or on the website, and here's the address. I want to go see this house. That guy's ready. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody gave you a referral, and you reached out to them, and they looked at 10 houses, and they're just not sure if I should be doing this. This is a big move, and you got to be able to talk them off the cliff. And a lot of times, those people, when you actually sit with them and meet, you can tell their level of commitment. Like, obviously, right, the lady that we put her in a position to say, are you going to sell your house or not? We didn't tell her that. We actually said, you need to commit to a date where we're going to meet. And as soon as you did that, they decided we're not ready, right? So that's the whole idea, so that when you have no clients, it really didn't make a difference. When you've got 5, 6 clients, and Saturday you're taking 3 of them out, and your day's cut into 3, and Sunday you're taking 2 more out, you don't have a lot of time to waste with somebody's on the fence. So you got to make sure that people are committed, right? You want to make sure that they are committed to going out with you, committed to working with you. How do you do that? You see if you can get them to meet. Sometimes they can't, and they'll do it on Zoom. That's fine too. But at least they got to put some time in with you, tell you their needs and their wants, and make some sort of commitment on time exchange, etc. And then when it comes to meeting them, I am not script guy. I'm not script guy, never was. Like, I can't read off of, like, when Alex and Jonathan and Kim over there, they're making their phone calls, they're reading from a script. Somebody gave them a script and they said, read this every time you call somebody. That's not my style. And I think if you have a script and somebody doesn't respond the way your script, you're completely lost. So my rule is wing it. Go be yourself. When you are actually meeting with somebody, you did get a seller to say, come on in. I have a basic formula for going in there and a basic idea of what to follow, but not a script. I like to wing it because some people are different. I want to take control, and we'll talk about that. It's a whole nother session, but I want to take control of the situation, but I want to wing it. I want to ask some questions to my buyer. I want to find out what their feelings are and what their motivation is and how urgent. I mentioned the other day when I used to take buyers out, one of the things that Floyd Wickman told me is, if somebody gets in a car with you or you're meeting with a buyer, did you bring a checkbook? Checkbook? What for? Are you ready to go? No, I didn't bring a checkbook. What are you been talking about? You mean to say if we find the perfect house today, amazing, like fits every single thing in your criteria, that you're not ready to buy it today? Never really thought of that. So, I mean, I'm not going to say, but what are we doing here then? What are we doing? Why are you wasting my Saturday? There's people out there that, like I said, if you have no clients, do whatever you got to do. But when you've got 3 clients, 5 buyers that you're going to take out, you're going to tell them, sorry, I can't go out, with somebody who's not ready to go, who's just looking. Say, hey, honey, what should we do today? We go to the Bronx Zoo. You know what we should do? Let's get a realtor to show us houses. That's a fun Sunday, right? Completely unprepared. No, I'm not signing anything. Not signing anything. This is New York State law. But there's a lot of people out there, that's what they do. They're doing that, and they just want to go out on a Sunday. Let's go look at houses. We'll find some dope realtor that's got nothing to do, not going to ask us any questions. We'll go out. I went to test drive cars. I mean, I was ready to go get my wife a car, but I went, people just said, here's the keys, go ahead. I went to one dealership. They just said, do you have a driver's license? Can I see it? He's looked at my license, gave it back to me, gave me the keys to a car, very expensive car. And I drove away. We were gone for like 20 minutes. Just gave me the car. Knew I was ready. Some people, I took a chance. They take a chance. So winging it's really important, that you have to have an idea of what you're doing, but don't treat everybody like they're the same, because we're not all the same. Everybody's got different feelings, different motivators behind us and what is important. So understanding that makes you not come off as a pressure salesperson. Because I hate those guys. I hate a pressure salesperson. Anybody pressuring me instantly turns me off. Instant. I don't care if it's something I want to buy. When it's a pushy sale, right? If it's a pushy salesman, I almost instinctively say, I'll come back another day. I don't want to do it. I'm just that way. So winging it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. When we do talk to those buyers, now we finally got a buyer who's going to commit to us, right? There's a lot more than this. I just want to give, this is basic understanding of human nature and working with buyers. First of all, I need you to help me to help you, right? Any homes in particular you're looking for? You have any idea? So have you seen any homes that you like so far? Any idea of what you're looking for? Another very important question. Are you working with anybody? I don't think it should be the first question. It comes off kind of weird. That's why I say wing it. Don't ask that right off the bat. Are you working with anybody? Give them a little bit first. Don't get too involved, but give them something first. Engage in conversation first. Because if you just do, are you working with another agent? Yes, I am. Well, okay, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. You just blew an opportunity to get somebody to say, you know what? Man, he's way better than my agent. My agent didn't even have a conversation with me. You're just as cold as that one. If you just said, oh, sorry, working with another agent, have a nice day. Instead of engaging in conversation a little bit. And once you've built this nice rapport, say, by the way, I neglected to ask, are you working with anybody else? Have you gone shopping with anybody else yet? Because I legally can't help you if you're working with somebody else already. That gives them the opportunity to go, you know what? This guy's great. My other agent, they didn't spend any time with me. I just called them up and they unlocked the door and said, do you want it or not? There's a lot of people like that. Do you have a home to sell? Yes, I do. Oh, congratulations. So you must be in contract already. No, I'm not in contract already. Wait a minute. You're shopping around looking for a home, but your house, can you buy a house without the sale of your house? Oh no, I need to sell my house before, with the money to buy the new house. Your house needs to get listed because no one's going to accept your offer in any market without a contract or at least an accepted offer on your house. All right, here's that motivation. If we find the right home, is there anything keeping you from making a decision? What would be keeping you? Well, I don't know if my boss is going to transfer me or not. Okay, well, we need to get that clear. Then just touching base. We're going to look at the right homes. Why do we need that pre-approval? We're going to look at the correct homes for you. I don't want to show you willy-nilly everything that's out there. I want to show you the stuff that you're capable of purchasing. And today we know that we have to go over asking, right? So that mortgage guy says you're approved for 400,000. We're not looking at $400,000 homes. I can't afford a $400,000 home. What are you talking about? I'm approved for 400. Yeah, but that house 400 is going to go for 425 to 450. So we're not even going to look there. The only $400,000 home we're going to look for is something that's on the market for 120 days. That one you might get. And then do you have any extra money to do repairs? These are just all part of the dialogue that we're going to have to discuss. That pre-approval eliminates uncertainty of what you can afford, provided usually the mortgage people tell them, don't buy anything, don't spend any money. Once you get that pre-approval, don't do anything that would affect your credit at all. Saves a lot of time, saves a lot of aggravation. And once you know what you can afford, dollar-wise, you're ready, you're well informed and you can make your decisions. Me as a buyer's rep now, what am I going to do for you? I'm going to protect your interests. I'm putting your interests ahead of mine, right? I'm the negotiator. That's what you're doing that. So, I'm the one that's going to help you get the property for the best possible price. Am I going to get it for the lowest price? In these times, I'm going to try the best I can. It's going to be difficult, but how flexible are you? everybody here watch HGTV, right? And they show them 3 houses and they pick one every time. They make the whole show around. Okay, here's the 3 houses. And they go, which one is it? And they go, okay, it's house number 2, right? Every single show, they do exactly the same thing. And you're like, wow, I can't believe how easy it is to sell real estate. When somebody loves a house, they step on the gas like you can't believe. If they're hesitant, there's no love there. And if there's no love, they're going to look for every excuse to pull out. It's got to be something. When somebody says, I found the house, they will not stop until they get the house. Doesn't matter what's wrong with it. Doesn't matter if who's got a hole that big in the roof and sun's coming in. They don't care. They want the house. They want the house. I don't care. Right? That's just the way it is. It is important that you start taking people out, even if it's just friends you know. So as a representative, you're going to research the facts. I'm working for you. I help you out going on the internet, help you find the homes you want. I'll send you things on a drip automatic. We saw that in the CRM. We put somebody on a hot sheet, and as soon as a house comes on the market, bam, they get it from you. They already see it. The minute somebody puts a house on the market and hit enter, your CRM, if it's let's just say your client's looking for a house up to 500,000 in Yonkers, and somebody puts one in for $499 in Yonkers, hits enter, the machine picks it up and will send it out to them in your name saying, look what just came on the market. And they look at it and, they go, and it says, let me know if you want to go see it. And they call you up and they go, Julia, I just got your email. What email? I don't know what you're talking about, right? But gotta go with it and say, okay, which one? I sent a lot of stuff out this morning. Oh, the one in Yonkers on 123. And you could go and look and see from your dashboard what they got and go make an appointment, make a sale. All right. So very important that you understand how to do that. And you'll make additional recommendations. Not everybody that picks, 10710 ends up in 10710. Not everybody that picks Dobbs Ferry ends up in Dobbs Ferry. A lot of really nice neighborhoods. Yeah, I mean, right, exactly. What makes you think like you need to be in Dobbs Ferry? Was like your mom lived there or something like that? What's the reason? Well, my kid has to go to this. Like we've had people that go, my kid has special needs, so they have to go to this very school because that's the one that has the program I need. Okay, that makes a difference. That's a big difference. But there's a lot of different towns in that school district. Maybe we don't have to be in that particular neighborhood. You just need to be in that school district. Totally fine. Let's look at something else. Not everybody knows exactly what they're looking for. So it's good to have that. I can show you any home on the market. And here's something else